The U.S. economy runs on services: restaurants, airlines, hotels, logistics, healthcare, education, finance. They're the heartbeat of American business. And for months, economists pointed to one reassuring fact. Even when manufacturing stumbled, even when housing cooled, the service sector kept America afloat. But now that engine is starting to sputter. The latest data from the ISM Services Index, one of the most watched measures of business activity, just came in nearly flat. New orders are slowing, employment is weakening, and the industries that drive most of the U.S. economy are suddenly showing signs of fatigue. This isn't panic territory yet. But make no mistake, this is the first real sign that the so-called soft landing might be softer than anyone expected. Let's unpack what's going on. First, a little background. The service sector makes up about 70% of the U.S. GDP. That means when Americans spend on travel, dining, insurance, entertainment, healthcare, or tech services, that's what keeps the economy humming. For most of the year, that side of the economy looked strong. While factories were struggling and housing stalled, services held firm. But something's changed. The ISM report showed new orders dropping to their lowest level in nearly a year. That means businesses are seeing fewer bookings, fewer contracts, and less demand. Employment in the sector has also weakened, and that's the part analysts are watching most closely. Because when services slow down, jobs go with them. So what's causing this shift? It comes down to three big forces, the same ones rippling across the entire U.S. business landscape. Number 1. Consumer fatigue. After 2 years of high prices and high interest rates, American consumers are tapped out. Savings are down. Credit card balances are at record highs. And people are cutting back. Not dramatically, but just enough to make a difference. They're skipping the extra dinner out. They're delaying that vacation. They're waiting one more year before upgrading their car. That might not sound like much, but across a $27 trillion economy, those small decisions add up fast. Number 2. Higher costs. For service businesses, from hospitals to logistics companies, inflation never really went away. Wages, rent, insurance, and input costs are all still rising. And unlike product-based businesses, service companies can't always automate or outsource those costs away. Margins are getting tighter, and many businesses are passing costs on to consumers, which, of course, leads to more consumer fatigue. It's a feedback loop that slowly squeezes the system. Number 3. Policy and uncertainty. The ongoing federal government shutdown and delayed economic data have left many businesses flying blind. Without clear indicators on employment, inflation, or spending trends, executives are freezing hiring and scaling back investment. It's not a collapse, it's hesitation. And hesitation in business is how slowdowns begin. Now here's the most important part. This isn't showing up in headlines yet. Stock markets are still focused on AI, tech profits, and megacaps. But under the surface, thousands of smaller businesses, restaurants, transportation companies, cleaning services, software consultancies, are feeling the chill. When you talk to small business owners, they'll tell you, sales are fine, but growth has stopped. And in an economy built on constant motion, flat might as well mean falling behind. Let's look at a few real examples. Major airlines are warning of softening demand in domestic travel. Hotel bookings have slowed compared to earlier in the year. Even logistics giants, FedEx, UPS, DHL, have reported lighter shipping volumes than forecast. Meanwhile, in retail and hospitality, job postings are declining for the first time since the pandemic recovery. That's not a full-blown crash, but it's a clear shift from expansion to caution. And the truth is, the service sector often signals what's coming next. Historically, when manufacturing contracts for several months in a row, the economy can keep going, as long as services hold strong. But once services flatten, A downturn often follows within 6 to 9 months. So what does that mean for business owners and investors right now? It means the slowdown has arrived. It's just quiet. It's not showing up in the stock market yet. It's not obvious on cable news. But it's there, in the form of delayed projects, cautious hiring, and customers who suddenly say, "Let's wait until next quarter." Now, this doesn't mean the US is heading into a deep recession, but it does mean the next phase of the economy will look very different from the boom we just lived through. Think of it like this. The post-pandemic economy was built on pent-up demand. Everyone wanted to travel, spend, renovate, invest, upgrade. Businesses were overwhelmed with orders. That rush is over. Now we're entering the digestion phase. Slower, steadier, and more competitive. For companies, the next challenge is adapting to that new rhythm. That means focusing on efficiency, not expansion. It means improving customer retention, not just chasing new leads. It means building financial resilience, because higher borrowing costs aren't going away anytime soon. And it also means getting real about AI and automation. Because if demand weakens, the only way to protect margins is by cutting waste and streamlining operations. The businesses that modernize now will emerge stronger when the next growth wave hits. But there's another side to this story. A silver lining, if you will. A slowdown in the service sector could actually help the Federal Reserve achieve what it's been aiming for all along: a controlled cooling of the economy. If spending slows just enough, inflation will ease, giving the Fed room to eventually lower rates. That could set the stage for a fresh wave of growth next year, one built not on stimulus or panic, but on real productivity. So yes, America's service economy is hitting the brakes, but it's not crashing, it's correcting. And that correction could be the pause businesses need to recalibrate, to move from survival mode to smart, sustainable strategy. Because the truth is, every slowdown is an opportunity. For the adaptable, it's a reset button. For the complacent, it's a warning shot. And right now, the smartest leaders in America aren't waiting to see if this slowdown gets worse. They're already preparing for what comes next. Because in every economic shift, the winners aren't the ones who see it coming. They're the ones who act before everyone else does.